Today, I want you to find out how you can offer buyers and sellers in the real estate industry 4.99% or lower. Yes, Ryan Leahy is the founder of More Seller Financing and Leahy Lending. He's bringing over 20 years of his experience in the real estate and mortgage lending. Now, he's known for his innovative approach, and you're going to hear about that today because he has created the More Mortgage to unlock this stuck housing market. You want to know how to get those listings sold. You want to know how to help your buyers. Listen to this podcast because his background of over 20 years in creative financing and traditional lending will help you. Yes, he has a legal team that helps him, so everything he's going to tell you about is legal. He's in 44 states and going to more. And under his leadership, More has earned the national attention. He speaks at events nationwide where he educates agents and consumers on how to safely and effectively use seller financing. And he's forged partnerships with major mortgages clear around the U.S. We welcome you, Ryan. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Dianna.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you've helped in so many ways. You sponsored many bold programs over and over again. And so when I was able to see you, about a month ago at the Coaching Blitz, it was like, Ryan, like my lost friend, right? Where have you been? So tell us, what have you been up to?
Well, thank you so much, Dianna. Being a part of Bold and going to Bold as a lender, actually, going to Bold as a lender for 6 times, really catapulted my career starting in 2013. And so really appreciate being a part of that. What I've been up to, Dianna, to answer your question is I've been out there in the trenches with our real estate agent partners, working to solve and create solutions for all of the issues that are going on in the real estate market. And
you've been in the lending business, mortgage business for over 20 years, and you're known for your creativity. And right now with the interest rates and with everything, with all these potential challenges coming up, what solutions did you provide through More? Because I'm excited about what you're doing.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's also ironic how your book was called Becoming More, and my program for creative financing is about more. So we created a program called More Seller Financing Bridge Loans. And what we figured out is that in today's market, so many people are waiting on interest rates to come down, right? And we don't have any control over that. The federal government's going to do whatever the federal government's going to do. But what we did find and we did figure out is who in the United States has current low interest rates? Well, every 87% of America refinanced that during the 2019 to 2022, March of 2022, and a large majority of them have an interest rate below 3.5% or 4%. And so what we figured out is that there's tens of thousands of sellers or even hundreds of thousands of sellers across the United States that are willing to sell their homes at a far below market interest rate in order to help get them sell their home faster and for more money. And ultimately, it also allows the buyer to recapture their purchasing power and affordability. So we figured out a great program that ends up being a win-win.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I first heard about it, my first question to you, as you know, was, have you run this by legal? I mean, is everything with RESPA, everything in order? And of course you have in all the states. So how does More empower the real estate agents to attract more buyers and sellers?
Thanks for asking that. What I like to ask agents is, do you think you could sell more homes today or even attract more buyers to your listing if you could offer a 4.99% or less interest rate on your listing? Inevitably, the answer always seems to be yes, because we all know that interest rates are really what's holding up the program, right? Yeah. And so we're able to empower these listing agents with a really strong differentiator tool to allow them to differentiate themselves at the point of trying to get that listing agreement signed by saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know that you're interviewing other agents, they're listing agents for this. And at the end of the day, do they have a program that is going to make your home and showcase your home to be more affordable than all the other homes in your price point? And ultimately, we're going to be able to offer a 4.99% interest rate, or a 4.5%, or a 5.5%, or whatever that ends up looking like. And I'd like for you to meet with the More team and have them talk a little bit about how the bridge loan program works and how we can just utilize it to create an option so that I can have more buyer conversations. And you don't have to do a seller bridge loan program. It's just an option, and it gives me a tool other than a price drop to attract more quality buyers to your property.
You know, it's interesting how many realtors don't even realize about a bridge program because they've never had to use it before. And so it is something, when they hear something new, a lot of people go, it's new, you know, a little frightened of it, whatever. And yet this creative program does work. And after all, when we can create more buyers, what happens to the price? I mean, if you get into an auction situation, you can have a seller actually gain more money for their home. And in today's market, that'd be pretty good. So I love the fact of how this all works. So what inspired you to create the More program?
Well, Dianna, like you, I've been in real estate a long time. And not only that, I'm a third generation real estate, right? And so the seller financing bridge loans and seller financing wraps and seller financing, you probably did, I think, well, when we spoke, you said that you did lots of them. So it's not even a new program. It's a revived program. And so in the 80s and in the 90s, it was very, very popular to do seller financing and seller financing wraps. There's a misnomer out there that they're illegal. They absolutely are not. Matter of fact, I actually have proof that they're not illegal because the state of Texas added it to the Texas Property Code in Senate Bill 43. And our law firm that we partnered with was actually helped sponsor this bill and get it passed. And it specifically discusses seller financing wraps and the regulations of them. And so that we are able to utilize that framework to make sure that we put together a legal, compliant, and enforceable transaction and protect all parties in the More program with what we do, as well as indemnify agents from negotiating terms of a loan that generally is not their lane. And so we're there to help those agents bring transactions together when they have an interested buyer that's qualified. These are buyers that are absolutely qualified for a loan. So I do want to drive that home. All these buyers have to go through a qualification process. Dianna, the magic on really what I did was I just took the best practices from conventional lending with the best practices of seller financing, and I actually just married them together.
Well,
and then I created a framework around that.
I mean, you're driven by your passion and your problem solving. That's who you absolutely are. You've been that way forever, and you thrive on helping other people. Now, what I love about this is the realtor actually gets paid and you do most of the work. They just have to find the buyers. And by the way, 4.99% interest or less is a pretty attractive to any buyer today. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. I'm a realtor. Explain to me, because I wasn't around, well, I was around in 80 and 90s. Let's pretend I wasn't. I'm brand new to real estate. So tell me what this is. How does it work?
Yeah, great question. So first off, we're going to talk to your sellers. And we ask that the listing agent can go ahead and connect us with the sellers. If they're not comfortable with that, we actually have an email address that's called mylisting@moresellerfinancing.com. And the agent, all they have to do is send us the property address. We will look up the current mortgage information and confirm if the More program would be a good fit for them. Then we'll call the agent and review just an overview on what the program would look like for their sellers. And that way the listing agent can have an idea of the program. And then we're going to send an email that's designed for the listing agent to forward directly to their sellers for a listing that they already have or a listing that they want to land. And so they can make it part of their presentation, their listing presentation, or after they get the listing agreement. And at that juncture, when the seller says, yeah, I'm interested in learning a little bit more, about more. And then we will do a Google Meet call and with the listing agent on the call so that the transfer of trust happens. And we'll explain the program that this is just an option for the seller. It's not an obligation. Again, our number one goal is just to allow the listing agent to have another tool to attract more highly qualified buyers to that property so that we can determine if a seller bridge loan is the way to go or is a traditional loan is the way to go. And matter of fact, Dianna, more than 50%, it's actually right around 50% of the buyers that call on a bridge loan, we actually convert into a traditional transaction. So it's a very powerful program.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. And, you told me that your mission, and it's very clear that you live your mission. You say to unlock potential, expand access to home ownership, and help clients and professionals succeed in today's evolving real estate landscape. See, I think that's some of the things that we forget. We've got to get out of the pile. You got to stand out in some way, somehow. And that's what you do in mortgage. That's what you've always done. And now you're giving that same access to every real estate agent out there. And so let me ask you, how do you, share a couple of real world examples for us. Let's get into the nitty gritty.
No, absolutely. So the program really sings above $700,000. Let's just talk about that. The financial literacy of the sellers is definitely there, and the agents also. But we have done more than 50% of our transactions have been below 600,000 and the other 50% are above. But literally, I just hung up the phone with a listing that hit the market Friday. It's in Salado, Texas, which if you're been around the Austin Metroplex, it's been a roughly pretty slow market lately. And the listing hit the market Friday, had our more seller financing bridge loan program attached. We had 2 buyer calls come in only because of the seller bridge loan offer. And matter of fact, I literally right before this call hung up and put together the transaction on full price. Oh, wow. On the seller ended up doing, instead of a 3-year term, a 6-year term, and it made everything come together. And the seller is absolutely thrilled. The buyer is thrilled. They got a far below market interest rate. Yes. They put a significant amount of money down, and everybody is happy. So on a brand new home in Salado, Texas at $1.6 million, it's not a ranch, it's a single family. Like, I was looking at it going, gosh, this is going to be a challenge to sell. But within 2 days, we had 2 interested parties. We got everybody wrapped up yesterday and really put a pin in it today. So that's the most recent one. The other one that I just put together also this week, it's in Rockport, Texas, and there's 46 listings around this one home in the same price point. Oh, wow. We put this home on the market 2.5 weeks ago. We are now fully under contract, full price again, for a 3-year term at 5%, with a highly qualified buyer, and the buyers are putting 35% down, which gives our seller 100% of their equity. And the seller's making an income of $781 a month from their current mortgage to the new seller financing bridge loan mortgage.
The point that a lot of people don't get. This is such a win-win-win situation. You're taking a struggling listing and you're turning it into a successful sale. And a lot of agents don't know how to do that in today's market. You're offering that option to them. They don't have to take it. It's just an option that you offer. And so what inspired you? I mean, I'm thinking about this, and you took it from the old days, as they say, when I was selling real estate, and yet not everybody's doing this. Are you finding a lot of realtors are going, I don't know, I don't understand it, so I'm not going to get involved?
You know, I've got to say, Dianna, that has been most certainly our biggest challenge is realtors are there. So many of them don't want to adapt. And I think, Gary Keller wrote an amazing book called The Shift, right? And if I believe every day we are either staying in business and growing or we're going out of business. every day. When
Yeah.
when our feet hit the floor, that's the two decisions that we happen to have that day. And I challenge each and every agent out there. Again, this is a program that's been going on for more than 60 years. We are just the first ones to revitalize it in the United States, and I challenge each one of them to come get a seller financing specialist designation, or go through the continuing education course that we have, and we're here to help. And
So
so
you're in all states?
we're in 44 states.
Okay.
So we're not in Alaska, Hawaii, Iowa, Montana. There's a couple of them that we're still filling in the gaps on, but we're in 44 states.
Yet they
And
should contact you, because as you fill in those gaps, their state may come available, and they need to be the first ones to know that, right? So how would they
absolutely.
reach out to you and contact
Yeah,
you?
thank you. So the best way to reach out to us, I like to keep using the same address, which would be my listing at moresellerfinancing.com. And myself, or our VP, we've got a solid team here. And I will say this, Dianna, you asked for a success story. We landed the EXP Luxury national account. And that's a publicly traded company. And so from a credibility standpoint, regardless of which brokerage anybody's with, we went through the entire due diligence of a publicly traded company and they signed off on all of it. So I do think that there's a lot to be said for that, as well as this is not a new program. Our law firms closed more than 25,000 of these seller financing wrap transactions, almost over 30 years. And of course, we've been in the mortgage space for more than 2 decades. Doing what we're doing. So this is not a new team that's new at this by any means.
Well, I know when I went out on listing appointments, I generally was up against other agents, because sellers do like to interview various people to see which one offers the most, which one can get them the most money, because sellers, unlike buyers, do believe that realtors are not the same. And this gives somebody that option to say, look at what I offer that no one else does. So once again, where do they reach out to? And then my last question is, what did I not ask you that I wish I would have, that you got to say in the last few minutes?
Great question. So in order to reach out and find and get in touch with myself or my team, it's my listing at moresellerfinancing.com. And that's MORE. We have a lot of folks put 2 O's in there. The concept is let's get more. You never have a seller complain about getting a higher sales price and selling their home for more. And then you never have a buyer complain about recapturing 30% of their affordability and getting more home for less money. So I would encourage everybody to go to our website as well, moresellerfinancing.com. There's a little 90-second video that they can watch and explains this program in and out, and will definitely give you enough information. You can click book a call with one of my team members. Those happen every 15 minutes. We've got a large sales team here and can handle everybody that is reaching out. So we're really looking forward to helping all the agents with their current listings that are on the market, or the listings that they want to land. And Dianna, the last piece I'll say, what's the number one thing that we can really help agents with? I think the best part about it is working smarter, not harder. This gives agents a huge opportunity to get into the luxury market. It gives agents a huge opportunity to move condos. Because again, if the seller, the seller that literally gets this the most, they get it in 30 seconds, is the sellers where the sales price is over $700,000. The financial literacy of those sellers is right there. And if they don't understand it right away, that's again what we're here to do, is explain it, that we have all the programs to walk the sellers through everything. So as well as, of course, the buyers. Mm-hmm. So if you have buyers that are sitting on the fence wanting an interest rate below 5%, today, there's tens, if not hundreds of thousands of sellers out there right now that would give them that opportunity. And we'll go help you find that home for that buyer.
Yeah, and even if a realtor does not want to use this, they need to know about it in case a seller hears about it and asks them. The last thing a realtor wants to do is sit there and go, I've not heard of that, right? Oh, well, the other realtor was telling me, I think you just probably lost the listing. Now, you did mention one company, yet I do know that you work with many companies. You've been out there with Keller Williams, with Coldwell Banker, with Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, all companies.
Compass, yep.
Yeah, many people are actually using this and having great success with it. And that's why when I saw you at the coaching blitz, I thank you for all your help with Bold. And more importantly, when I heard what you were doing, that's why I invited you up to my office and said, let's get this out to all the realtors. There's nothing that thrills me more than helping realtors sell more homes, right? 'Cause we work hard as realtors to get out there and get things done. And sometimes we don't really get credit for all the work that we do. So,
Being the therapist and the marriage counselor and everything else that you guys do, absolutely. We're here to help. That's most certainly.
that's true. That's true. You know, I haven't sold a home other than my own for a long time, yet I've helped a lot of realtors. And I'm so glad that you're helping them as well, Ryan. So once again, tell us that place that they can all go.
Thank you. It's my listing at more, M-O-R-E, sellerfinancing.com.
Great. So if you want to set yourself apart, if you want to be able to offer lower interest rates to all those people that are complaining, if you want to stand out as a realtor and offer something that no one else is, be certain to look that up, watch the video, and then reach out to Ryan with any questions that you have. Because after all, doesn't your seller and don't your buyers deserve the very best? And that's you and all that you can offer them. So thank you, Ryan, so much. We greatly appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Dianna, for having me.